casing read, "If you read this, you are gay, LMAO."
And Joe Rogan believes in dragons.
Rest now, brother. We have the watch. And I'll see you in Valhalla.
This is prepackaged, formulaic, a globalist program. That's how we know their next move every time, folks. It ain't hard. It's like having eyeballs and being able to see it happen. That's all you got to do is wake up out of the trance.
How many more times treat me the way you want to do?
Why do I have instincts? Why am I upset? Why do I want to fight? Why do I care?
How many more times treat me the way you want to do? When I give you all my love, please, please be true.
No, there's an open border, bitch. There's goddamn Al-Qaeda people being shipped in, you whore. You fucking want me to tell you if I saw something? Yeah, I saw something. I saw total tyranny being brought in. I saw foreign threats being used to take my freedom. Sure, let's listen to it.
Honor the Jewish experience through millennia. And again, as we experience a government and a country that exists only because of the Jewish people's experience, Western civilization, and what has come from that, all that we owe, it must be honored and carried through.
Often when there is dissent expressed in the United States against policies of the Israeli government, people here are called anti-Semitic. What is your response to that as an Israeli Jew?
Well, it's a trick. We always use it. When from Europe somebody is criticizing Israel, then we bring up the Holocaust. When in this country people are criticizing Israel, then there are anti-Semitic. And the organization is strong, and has a lot of money, and the ties between Israel and the American Jewish establishment are very strong, and they are strong in this country. As you know, they have power.
As best I can tell, they started having the army follow me around for a while. And I said, go ahead, do whatever you're going to do. I'm not going to shut up. You globalists think you're so advanced. I'm civilized. I don't take a crap in the pool. Madeleine Albright, Hillary Clinton, Barack Obama, Al Gore, David Rockefeller, all of you take collective dumps in the pool. Because you think you're in a different pool than us. You think you're up on the castle on the hill. The truth is, you're in the same pool as us, idiots. You reap what you sow.
It's very easy to blame people who criticize certain acts of the Israeli government as anti-Semitics, and to bring up the Holocaust and the suffering of the Jewish people, and that justify everything we do to the Palestinians.
I'll tell people every day, like, I'm just a guy in his room. I'm a little retarded, and I'm just curious about things, and I investigate things that interest me and try to share that with other people so that I can pay the knowledge that's been given to me forward and stuff like that.
You little bastard, you little piece of trash, and that's the American dream. That's what people should aspire to. And if it's mental illness to love liberty and to be angry, well then I am. If I teleported back to the Aztecs 2,000 years ago, 1,500 years ago, and they were chopping kids' hearts out every morning. And I walked over and said, this is crazy. The sun will come back up. You don't have to sacrifice 50 kids. They'd say, man, you're crazy. You're loco. Well, you know what? I'll tell the Aztecs they're loco. I'll tell Hitler he's loco. I'll tell Lenin he's loco. I'll tell all these tyrants they're loco. And I'll tell people that, hey, don't like me getting angry? What Patrick Henry said, crouch down and lift the hand that feeds you. May your chain set lightly upon you, because I'll say what Colonel Travis said at the Alamo, victory or death. That's extremism, isn't it? Knowing a force of 10,000 people was coming, and he had 180. That's right. That's what this is. It's commitment. It's really living. We're here, and it's just part of the system that all these devices, and now they're coming out with refrigerators and coffee makers and washing machines. And you try to go and buy a new washing machine, and they don't have the old-fashioned ones that work. They've got all these fancy ones with all this computerized crap in it that never works and breaks constantly because it's listening to you.
CIA and Mossad, even though Mossad's mean to the CIA, they're one fucking thing, okay? In fact, MI5 and 6, they're all really one thing at the end of the day, together. Scumbags. And why is anyone cool with that? Because you saw Marvel movies that tell you, it's great, they always tell you it's such a dangerous world out there. Yeah, because of you, asshole. That's what every gangster says. Oh, I gotta do this because I don't want to, but the streets. You're directly participating in the problem. And then most of the problems are blowback from the evil shit you just did. And I'm supposed to thank you for your fucking service? Because you went to go dismantle a terrorist group that you created? Asshole?
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of Going Postal. We're not going to talk about it. This isn't going to be about the big thing. I think you guys know what it is. We're not even going to mention his name because, like every other podcast has talked about it, we don't need to.
And if you were there on the 9/11 live stream, you would have known about it. You would have heard our thoughts. It would have. What are you going to do?
What I did want to talk about is I remembered this story today that I don't even know if I've told you, but me and my friend who I lived by, we knew the area pretty well that we were going to, knew of this pond that was deep down a hill. You had to just go right off one of the dirt roads that we lived on, gravel roads. And right down the hill, it's a steep-ass hill. And we somehow managed to take one of the boats that we had, just a old fishing boat, like no motor or anything, just like a simple boat, take it down this steep-ass hill that was like, it literally was like a 45-degree angle, if not more. It was fucking insane how steep it was down this dirt road to get there. Like, there wasn't a road or anything. We had to take a gravel road to get there and then walk through the woods with this boat, dodging trees just to get it down this. And it was just basically like a U, like just with only one opening on the other side to get up to this person's property. And we didn't know whose property it was, but we didn't think this person owned the pond. Looking back on it, I'm sure they did. But we fished there in our boat for a little bit, never saw anybody. And then whenever we were like, okay, how the fuck are we going to get this boat out of here? Taking it down was a bitch. So I'm sure taking it back up is going to be way harder. We're going to try going to the only opening, which is towards these people's property. And it looks kind of like an abandoned house. It's old as shit. So we're just hoping it's abandoned. We're going to take it up that way. Whenever we take it up that way, we are getting close to this house. It's still bright, but it's getting dark. It's sunset, and we're noticing this person's house definitely looks abandoned. So we're like, all right, fuck, let's explore. We get up, we're walking around this person's property, and then we were like, okay, let's take the boat back, but we want to check this shit out. We're coming back. So after we drop off the boat, it's definitely dark at this point. I'd say it's around 10 p.m. And we go up to this person's house. There's only one light on inside. The door is unlocked. We eventually find out the door is unlocked because we're just trespassing on these people's property. We open the door and just hear music playing in there with only one light on and music playing. And we're freaked out just because it's dark. We're trespassing and we're scared and thinking that this house is haunted for sure. And eventually we find the music, find it's just a radio on inside, and we're like, we walk in these people's house. It's definitely not abandoned. There's definitely someone living there, but I guess they're not there at the time, not there all day. And whenever we turn the music off, we're walking, exploring, don't really find anything. We're like, okay, we got to get the fuck out of here. This is someone's house. The next day, whenever we come back to see if anyone's there to explore, right whenever we get there, one of our neighbors is overturned in his Jeep. His head is exploded. His head's gushing blood still. Like his Jeep flipped going around the corner right where this person's house is. It landed back upright, but he's sitting in the fucking Jeep, just head exploded, head gushing blood. We're like, what the fuck happened? His Jeep's all bent and shit. And he's like already, I guess, called someone. Someone eventually shows up and takes him to the hospital. And we were like so convinced that this house was haunted and scared of it and just wanted to go check it out and see that again. And then just by coincidence, someone wrecks on the same road that very next day. Right, literally, dude, we showed up like 2 minutes after the crash, maybe. Like, it's hard to tell, but he was like fucked up. And he lived, he was fine. He just had a big gash on his head. Was the only injury, I'm sure a concussion, but his Jeep was totaled completely. And I just thought that was such a funny coincidence that we're so scared of a haunted house, and then just we show up and a dude's just bloody, like we think he's dying right whenever we show up.
Yeah, dude, there are no coincidences. I don't know. Maybe a shadow hangs over that property, or just a radio's on inside. Come on now. I don't know. You're very prone to the paranormal. You've been exposed multiple times out in the woods to paranormal activity.
I can't believe, looking back on it, we were just like fucking with this dude's fishing poles inside of his house. Like, I remember grabbing his fishing poles, like looking around every single room in his house, and this is just fucking some old timer's house, just trying to fucking just minding his own business. I feel bad.
Yeah, I know. It's probably not. I don't know why he doesn't leave fucking doors unlocked. Christ. I mean, I get living out in the sticks. Sometimes you get loosey-goosey with it, but fucking...
All the sheds and shit, like, had overgrown. Like, it looked like he never cut his grass or anything, so that's why we thought it was abandoned. And we didn't think, whenever we went, like, the reason we went inside, I don't think we would ever do that if we thought someone actually lived there, but it just looked abandoned from the outside, and with how old of a house it was, we would not have suspected it to be so just completely clean on the inside. It might have been someone's hunting cabin or some shit. That is also a possibility as to why, like, no one ever showed up to this house. Because it kind of did look like that. It just had, like, fishing poles. It didn't really have a lot of shit. It kind of just looked like someone's hunting cabin.
Yeah, no, it's a strange place out there in the deep woods. I'm telling you, you never know what you're going to find out there.
I fully believe that I witnessed Bigfoot. I don't want to sound crazy to all you guys that don't believe, but it's a fucking, I don't know what it was because I didn't see it because it was just pure darkness, but it was some kind of cryptid out there. I don't know. Mothman, who knows?
Bigfoot, forest spirit, shadow demon, we're not sure, but Dylan, he felt the presence out there.
And I wasn't alone. I was with a friend that can verify all the same things I did. I made a video about it on my solo channel, Going Postal Studios. Shout out. Find it anywhere, YouTube, Instagram.
Is that right?
I made a video about it. And he just sent me a Snapchat randomly. I didn't tell him about the video or anything. He was like, "Hey, I saw your video, and it's exactly how it happened. Like, I wouldn't change anything about it. Like, I promise you I didn't lie or embellish anything. I just fully tell you the truth about what I experienced. And I can't explain it. He can't explain it. But it couldn't have been a bear because we would have heard the breathing. It walked up to us, and then you would be... It just felt like some giant presence. Like, it felt bigger than a bear.
It was some sort of trickster spirit, dude. I'm telling you, it stalked you guys through the woods. It was just fucking with you.
It was trying to make us walk off the fucking cliff that we were on. It was trying to it was some kind of spirit, dark, evil spirit trying to end me.
Yeah, no, dude. I mean, there's some foul presences out there in the woods. Dude, I'm not lying. I've walked quite a ways in my day, and whenever you're off the beaten path, off your property, just in some fucking who knows where you are. Yeah, there's some weird shit out there. It feels weird.
And I don't even really believe in ghosts as much as everyone else does because I just like, if we can't see them and they can't affect us, it's not really, I don't care that much. I care if they can actually come onto this side and affect things. But whenever I just see bullshit Instagram reels of like a soda can falling off a table, and this is all the visual proof we've ever gotten of ghosts. It's just the most fake videos ever, or just eyewitness accounts because they can't be captured on camera for some reason. I don't know.
I mean, dude, how can you capture an emotional stain on a location with a camera done? I don't know about the ghosts. I'm not sure about all that shit. I don't. It's some weird fucking psychic shit that we can't get.
It's just another dimension that's around us too, because we only see in the 3D, and then I guess the 4D or 5D or whatever the fuck can't affect us in this dimension, but it's around us, I guess, and we just can't see it.
Bro, it's the mojo in the house. I mean, whenever you walked in this crib, you looked at all the artwork on the wall, and you're like, yeah, dude, this is a sweet crib, nice couch, all the like. Whenever you go to one of these haunted locations, I mean, if a bunch of people were murdered here, no matter how nice the house is and how cheap, you would think a second time about buying it, right? Just for the fact that a family was murdered in this house. Let's just think metaphorically.
I definitely that would affect my opinion on buying it. Whenever there's so many other houses where I know for sure, I don't know for sure, but it's not a very popular murder and no one knows about it, I guess. But if I'm moving into a house, putting down the majority of my net worth on an item, I would want there not to be any murders in that item. That's just a fair opinion.
I think that's a great opinion to have.
Matt Rife bought the Annabelle doll, I guess, and I just did not look at him as balling like that, just being able to... Oh, he didn't even just buy the Annabelle doll, he bought the entire Warren collection, every single item that they owned in their house.
Who the fuck is Matt Rife?
He's a comedian. I figured you probably knew about him. I just knew of him as like not a very funny comedian, and I didn't think he was balling. Fucking could just spend 15 mil or however much it was to buy their collection. I'm sure it's at least 15 mil for all that haunted shit. The Annabelle doll is actually enough to convince me that ghosts are there's some weird shit going on, because that doll and other shit in their collection, they are kind of like scammers, and maybe like the old dude's a rapist, I don't know, but
he doesn't know.
They do buy a lot of haunted shit, and they do specifically keep them with other haunted shit to like stop their evil spirits or whatever is connected to them from harming the outside world, because the stories that is involved with just the Annabelle doll are crazy. For one doll to have that many weird things happening is just, there's something going on there.
Yeah, no, I believe in some paranormal shit. There's just some strange goings on. No coincidences out here. I don't know.
I don't think there's any coincidences whenever that comes to terrorism in the United States, and we're basically just creating...
I'm glad you backboarded off of that.
We're creating the terrorism with the CIA, the military-industrial complex, to continue to fund it, to continue to need to make these weapons and keep an enemy in the United States. We need an enemy to keep the people fighting, and because our GDP would go down so much if everything just started going well. We stop fighting. You see it in the media all the time. They're just trying to create division all the time, no matter what. And that's because we always need an enemy to be fighting against to work harder and make more money for the elites.
Yeah, no, it's a big cycle. We've been around a few times, folks. It's probably about to come again. If you haven't seen what Israel did last night, and the UN also has just admitted that Israel is committing a genocide, but we're not going to do anything about it. Fuck it.
It doesn't even matter if the UN does, because it's been like 100 countries or some shit that have already said they're committing a genocide, like came out openly and are not holding back, saying full-on genocide's happening in Palestine.
They bombed the negotiators.
I mean, they murdered women and children who were just trying to get food. They start killing people at aid sites just for no reason, just because they hate Goyim.
But they're the greatest country. I mean, did I send you the Department of State lady saying that, I mean, America's the greatest country next to Israel?
No, I didn't see that.
Really. Stop the presses. Stop the video. I'm showing Dylan this right now. You guys can look this up.
See, this is why we got to keep women out of Congress. We just got to keep them in the kitchen where they belong.
That's what you're taking from this. It's not that. Never mind, dude.
Dude, they're head glazers. Dude, they're ball fondling Israel. You know, all the women in government are. They're not gonna actually think for themselves.
Dude, that's fine. Get a hot conservative blonde woman in there with big tits. That's all I want. As long as she's not out here fucking saying that Israel is a better country compared to she's literally the State Department person. and she's saying that America is the greatest country next to Israel, and she hopes that people think she's Jewish. Like, it's the most psychotic woman that you've ever seen. It's Tammy Bruce, by the way, guys. Look her up.
Well, you know Trump's not going to have anybody in his cabinet that's not also ball fondling Israel. Because that just reminded me, have you seen that video of Kash Patel getting questioned by that senator or whoever the fuck? But he asked him 11 times over and over again, like, did you tell Trump that he was in the Epstein files? And Kash Patel, instead of answering yes or no, just says, well, this. And, like, he just starts bullshitting his way through answers. And then he just, like, after the 5th time of asking him, he just straight up asked him, like, please, just yes or no. Did you tell Trump that he was in the Epstein files? It's just a yes or no question. And he's like, well, I told so-and-so, and like he just continues to go on and on. Have you not seen this video?
No, I've seen it. I've seen a lot. I've seen everything from Kash Patel, and he always makes me smile.
It didn't make me smile at all. It made me so fucking angry that just like how blatantly he will lie. He's just like a pathological liar. He's one of the worst people I've ever seen.
Do you really think that we wouldn't show you that, Joe? Do you really think that we wouldn't give you the files if we had them? I'm giving you everything that I have.
I mean, everyone just loses all credibility whenever you talk over and over again for months beforehand about how they're going to release the Epstein files whenever I get them. And then whenever they finally are about to release them, they're just like they even make the bullshit binder shit where they're giving it to conservative influencers saying this is phase 1. Like, they're already acknowledging it, and then they just go, you know what? That actually didn't exist. Like, it's one of the worst fucking lies. They're just like actually hoping that everyone just accepts it and moves on is like all they were hoping for.
This bitch has it on her desk.
It's so crazy that they even tried that and thought they could actually get away with it because they were so confident that they could get away with it because they're getting away with everything right now. It blows my mind what we've put up with and how we have not done something about it.
No, it's game over. I mean, you would think, you look at all this shit in the past and you're like, dude, if I was around back then, I'm sure I would have said something. And then all this crazy shit happens. Epstein dies. Fucking the files don't even exist. We don't know what you're talking about. You have everything that we know. Nobody's doing anything about it. You might as well take the black pill, Dylan. Nobody's gonna change anything. We're just yapping to yap, folks. That's why we're here. We're just screaming into the void, just like you are, just like everybody else.
Until Civil War II breaks out and we actually shit starts happening, shit starts popping off. Whoa! That made me think that they're really pushing like left versus right now. After the Kirk assassination, they're pushing left versus right so hard, creating divide that way. Not like the actual Civil War that does pop off is going to be peasants versus elites. That's what the actual Civil War is going to be, and they're trying to make it like the next Civil War is going to be left versus right. And if you feel that way, you should just get that mindset out of your head because these people are fucking retarded that are fighting left versus right nonsense. That does not actually exist. It's all part of the same system. The system was created to have that left versus right as the only option. And if you pick a side, you're fucking retarded. I hate to break it to you.
This has never been a political struggle. It's always been a class struggle. Let's get real with it. I'm no commie, but whenever people are running around with $300 billion, you might want to ask yourself, maybe that's why. Why are you running around with that much money? Bill Gates, why are you buying up all the farmland? BlackRock, why are you buying all the small family households? And then you're the fucking crazy person. Whenever you see everything crumbling around you, you see everything being limited from you, all your hopes and dreams fucking, well, that's just not how it works anymore. You're going to be a fucking renter. You're going to be a this. You're going to be a that. And whenever you get mad about it, you're the guy with the fucking problem. You're the douchebag. You're the fucking crazy person.
Bill Gates is openly admitting to us that he wants to decrease the world's population by 15 to 20% with vaccines, and then he comes out with vaccines and pushes that hard as fuck during COVID. Like, you can see the playbook actually happening in real life with your own eyes, and you do nothing about it. These elites don't care about you at all. This is a hot take here, but there's fucking shit from communism and socialism that we can actually take and move on with and not just have a capitalist hellhole that we live in. We can actually take ideas from each one and create something new that hasn't been tried before. You can fucking, like, having a fire truck service, having a fire department is a socialist idea. Like, you need to have all pay your taxes to have a fire department, so whenever you have a fucking fire, there's people ready to put that fire out. There's ideas from this that we can take and use after Civil War #2.
It doesn't all have to be ran off of fucking cash money. It doesn't all. Not everything needs to have a fucking profit motive. They tell you that nobody would do anything without a profit motive. I mean, were the Roman guys building the roads for profit, for strictly profit?
A lot of people building the railroads did it because they were slaves.
I wasn't saying the railroads. I was saying the Romans.
What'd you just say?
I said, were the Romans only going after the profit margins whenever they were building the roads?
Oh, I got you.
They were setting out to explore, to conquer the world, to advance themselves. Not for fucking bukus of dollar bills.
If you get off a gold standard and just become purely...
Not to create an AI god.
If you live in a fucking surveillance state now where all your money is completely worthless and gets printed by the billions every single day, that just completely devalues your work day by day, gets devalued by a certain percentage because they're just continuously printing more and more money. Like, this can end.
It's not your fault. Everybody, it's all the American people's fault. They won't do this. They won't do that. They fucked everything up. They've taken every piece of the fucking pie, and now whenever you're upset about it, whenever you're angry at your elected officials, they don't want you to talk to your peers about it. You're the fucking crazy guy. Well, talk about the sports. Did you see last night's game?
Don't talk about how the Oracle CEO, like the Oracle owner, his net worth went up over $100 billion in one day. He surpassed Elon Musk as the richest person ever. He made over $100 billion in one day because Oracle's taking over, Palantir's taking over. We're going to be worshiping AI gods here in the next 5 years. We're fucked.
Your electrical bills are going up not because we're running out of electricity, not because we're not building more electrical production. It's because they're building all the electrical production for fucking massive AI data centers. It's not for you. Elon Musk can run 20 diesel generators all day. It's fine. But you can't have a nice truck. What are you talking about? What are you saying?
Yeah, people never make that connection that, like, the reason that our power bills are going to go up so much is because we're fucking servicing billionaires and their AI retarded shit and their cryptocurrencies and all their bullshit that just doesn't need to actually exist. We need to live on a gold and silver standard, and we need to fucking do it quick.
It's the high time that we don't have to use fucking just the force of the American military everywhere we go. I don't think our dollar bills need to be based on the amount of how much shit we're fucking up. I don't know.
What we do know is Osama Bin Laden did not die whenever they say he did. That's our topic for today. We kind of got off on a little bit of a tangent there, but you know, that's what you come here for, folks. You want current events. You want the commentary of the social collapse of society.
You want our retarded takes. You want to hear every last word that comes out of our mouths.
You guys are fucking gooning for it. I know you are.
You guys are gooners.
Anyway, whenever Osama died, and in 2011, I believe it was purely just because Obama wanted to get elected for a second term and used it whenever his ratings were sliding horribly. But if you guys don't know who Osama Bin Laden is,
he was one of our brave fighters of the Mujahideen, fighting against the Soviets. Respect all the rebels.
Everybody knows he for sure did 9/11, and that's why we invaded multiple countries that he wasn't even a part of and had no affiliation with.
Dylan, we found the passports. I don't know what you're talking about. Bin Laden did it. We went to his caves. He had the American entertainment. We heard him singing Poker Face. He did it. Okay?
I didn't know before looking into this that he actually came from a super rich family. He came from the fucking one of the biggest construction companies in Saudi Arabia. And his dad was the owner of that, and he came from fucking royalty basically in Saudi Arabia and was just basically used as a puppet, like a figure, a boogeyman, as Jones and Bill Cooper, I guess, have both called them, to the American public. They need to create the terror, as I was talking about earlier. They need to fucking make you scared of somebody so you're willing to go sign up for the army and fight. You're willing to work harder at work because there's a boogeyman out there that's trying to take your freedom. But in reality, the hijackers didn't care about your fucking freedom at all. Like, if you actually see what they were doing before the weeks leading up to 9/11, they were fucking hookers doing cocaine, drinking alcohol, even though that's against their religion, and doing all kinds of shit down in Florida. In Venice, Florida, where the one that hit two of the ones that hit the Twin Towers and the one that hit was the Pennsylvania plane, all flew and were trained at this one specific flight school in Venice, Florida. And it was, the owner of that flight school was Rudy Deckers, who is this Dutch dude. And he's basically just a CIA asset running a flight school that trains Muslims. They all of a sudden just, in 1999, just started training fucking hundreds of Muslims every year out of nowhere in fucking Venice, Florida, where like the population is all old people. It's like a retirement community down in Florida, right next to Sarasota. And then all of a sudden, this is where all these Muslims are coming to train and learn how to fly in the years leading up to 9/11. And that's where the two of the hijackers that hit the Twin Towers trained at. And also the one that crashed in Pennsylvania. I guess they didn't teach the one in Pennsylvania very well.
Dude, none of these guys could fly an airplane at all. You saw it with the Pentagon hit. There's no possible way that one of these guys was able to pilot that. I don't know what exactly happened. We know we've had drones since fucking World War II. So who knows? Maybe they just had a computer fly it into the buildings and just have these guys be the fall guys. And speaking of fall guys, I mean, that's exactly what Mr. Osama was. I mean, the man he was also a CIA asset. He was fucking Tim Olson whenever he came over here. I mean, he's a confirmed CIA asset. We were done with the Mujahideen. The Soviets pulled back. Time to kill two birds with one stone. We blame the terrorist attack on him. Get rid of him. He's gone. Can't say anything about what we did over there. Our terrorist attack is covered up. I mean, we made who knows how much money off of fucking insurance. We're balling. We're ready to go. Israel's expanding. Everything worked out perfectly in the end.
No, don't mention the fact that 9/11 was bought 6 months earlier. 9/11, the Twin Towers were bought 6 months earlier by two Jewish billionaires who had direct ties to Mossad. And one of them goes through a fucking giant health scare and is just begging and getting off fucking the hardest drugs, like hardest painkillers, trying to just begging to get to this negotiation table to buy a depreciating asset because they're giant asbestos-ridden towers that would have been tens of billions of dollars to actually get rid of all that asbestos because no one's actually going to want to do that big of a job because people know of the horrors of asbestos and the cancer rates and how likely it is that they're going to die if they work on this fucking tower, and it's going to take tens of years off of their life even. No one's actually going to do that unless they get paid millions of dollars each individual person, and this is a giant tower that would need so much renovation to get all this asbestos out. And then luckily, fucking a couple months after the deal clears, after they also increased their insurance by double, it just happens to get hit by 2 planes, knocks them both down. They fall into their own footprint, basically disintegrate whenever they fall, and then burn in a molten pile of steel for a month afterwards.
Is that it? Yeah, no, I mean, we've busted our nut on 9/11. We're just dancing around the topic that Dylan was bringing up at the very start. Nobody wants to dance on the to cash in on the grave of somebody.
I gotta talk about
which what I
Osama.
think everybody's been running around and doing in their own little way.
I gotta talk about Osama more because there's stuff that I bet you don't know that I got that I wanted to talk about before we get
got a little bit more about Tim Olson.
Well,
I call him by his CIA name because I like the American version better.
Yeah, it's just a matter of how many times they actually use that CIA guy as a fucking basically body double for Osama, and when Osama actually even died, because there's reports of him dying by world leaders, of him dying even as early as 2001, 2 months after the attacks happened. But then there's multiple reports of other world leaders announcing his death in even funerals, and this is in like 2002, 2003, and what no one ever talks about is whenever they actually catch him, they say they can confirm the identity of Osama Bin Laden with DNA evidence, but no one ever questions how they actually got that DNA evidence of him. Like, how would you think that they would get the evidence to be able to prove that whenever they killed him that it was Osama Bin Laden? How do you think they got that DNA to test?
I don't know. They dumped him in the sea, so...
Their official explanation is that they didn't get the DNA of Osama himself. They set up a polio vaccine distribution center in Afghanistan and were able to get his children's DNA, and then they used that children's DNA to be able to prove that whenever they killed him that it was Osama bin Laden.
Yeah, that's good. I didn't. That's something that you can do at a vaccine center. That's nice. That's good to know.
It makes no fucking sense, and that is their official explanation, is how they were able to prove it was him. Also, his kids are just showing up to a fucking polio distribution center where they know it's probably the fucking CIA trying to fuck them. And even if that actually did happen, you can't prove off of just the children's DNA that it was Osama bin Laden. I don't know if you can or not. I don't know fucking DNA, but I feel like you would only be able to prove, like, it could be his brother's DNA whenever you test the body. It could be his father's DNA. I don't think you can actually prove it's him by his kid's DNA.
Yeah, no, it's kind of goofy. It's the way it goes, though, around the whole entire Bin Laden case. Who knows who Bin Laden was? We certainly got whoever we said Bin Laden was. there was like 5 different Bin Ladens dying, so we got one of them.
I heard if you take his death as actually happening, I heard they knew about him being in Pakistan in that hideout for a long time, and then whenever Osama bin Laden's, Obama's, what's the difference though? Whenever Obama's approval ratings were dropping, he fucking just used that as an excuse to be able to be like, oh, look, American people, I fucking killed that guy. The fucking worst, the boogeyman in your guys' eyes. And he's responsible for 9/11. I took him out, me. And then just right after that happens, a month later, all the fucking members on SEAL Team 6 just die in a helicopter accident. And that's no big deal.
They just fly him above an occupied city, just like sitting ducks waiting for a rocket to hit him and kill them all. It's the most ridiculous fucking video you ever seen in your entire life.
There's that one guy who takes credit for killing Osama and goes around on all the podcast tours. He went on every single popular one talking about how he's the one that shot Osama bin Laden, and it pisses me off so much that I can't even actually watch one video and hear him out, just because I'm almost positive that he was not still living in 2011. He was on dialysis since he had kidney failure since fucking 2001. You really think he's living 10 years with fucking failing kidneys? And like, he also, they're saying he had like some type of lung problem that was like genetic, and there's no way he would be able to live that long either. This guy was fucked up, and he wasn't even real at one point. He just became Tim Osmond.
I'm certain that the guy that was on SEAL Team 6 that is still alive and said that he shot Osama 3 times in the face, I'm sure he did. He did shoot whoever they told him was Osama Bin Laden. I mean, I'm sure they did.
Yeah, he wouldn't be able to tell if it was Osama Bin Laden because he fucking popped him 3 times in the face, man.
I mean, the only people that have ever told us that Osama Bin Laden did this was the American government. We obviously know that you have to take just a little bit of salt when talking to him, and it's just kind of fishy. Just kind of fishy that how many Osama Bin Ladens have died.
It's just so clear that Israel and Saudi Arabia were behind 9/11, and they never get brought up at all in the official explanation. And Osama had nothing to do with it. Imagine being fucking just this terrorist leader. He was the leader of Al-Qaeda or whatever. Not the greatest guy or anything, but just imagine chilling, minding your own business. Like, he did hate America and hated... I watched a video, I don't know if I can't translate whatever the fuck, bibbly boop or whatever the fuck he speaks, but I'm just trusting the translator. He was talking about how he did not like how America just operated through Israel in the Middle East, and he wanted America's presence out of the Middle East is all he wanted. He didn't care about going over to America at all. He just wanted, in the Middle East, them to get the fuck out. And I found that ironic because now it's Israel operating through America, and it used to be America operating through Israel just 20 years ago.
Yeah, no, I mean, he said that America is an agent of Israel, even back then, and that's the reason why he didn't want to give the weapons back. We gave him the weapons to fight against the Soviets. He wasn't going to give them back. I mean, they fought for his homeland, and fucking... he wasn't going to give it up.
And it's clear that he did, like, start Al-Qaeda. If you believe the official explanation, he was the leader of Al-Qaeda, and all of those people in Al-Qaeda were originally Mujahideen, which was funded by the American government. We, as taxpayers, funded Al-Qaeda, basically, to lead them to do 9/11, in their official explanation.
I mean, we do this everywhere. We did this... the Contras, I mean, this is in the CIA's playbook. They love taking these organizations. They love starting revolutions. This is what they do. And, just like I was saying, kill 2 birds with 1 stone. I mean, Osama had outlived his usefulness. It was game over for him. Done and dusted. Blame the terrorist attacks on him. We're invading. We're going to get this $1 trillion lithium vein. We're going to get the oil. We're going to start the poppy fields back up again. We're ready to go. Israel's going to expand. I mean, it was a perfect plan. Say Bush is retarded. All you want. I mean, the man pulled off the biggest heist in the world.
And whenever they killed Osama, they said that he had a hostage and had a weapon in the first official explanation of whenever they killed him, but then they backtracked on that and said he was unarmed, but then never explained why they killed an unarmed Osama bin Laden whenever they broke into his compound and found him unarmed. They just, in their explanation, they domed him instantly, like, for no reason.
Yeah, it wasn't for no reason, dude. He did the 9/11 terrorist attacks. They told him that, Dylan.
They got away with the most fucked up shit. That one dude, I can't remember his name, but he was like a whistleblower who was in the Pentagon. Whenever a plane is coming at them in the Pentagon, they're talking, and it's like, does the order still stand? Yeah, it does. Talking about not shooting down the plane that's coming at them that they had tracked from 30 minutes out. From 30 minutes, 20 minutes, 10 minutes, they let a plane fly directly at them in the Pentagon and still had a stand-down order not to shoot it.
50 cameras are in the Pentagon. One of them is on. One of them sees the plane hit the just last week reinforced side of the Pentagon. Whatever. Sure.
And just 4 training exercises happen to be scheduled the same day as 9/11. And one of them is even responding to a mid-air hijacking. They were training for responding to a mid-air hijacking while a mid-air hijacking was actually supposedly going on. And that fucked up so much shit. And they never stopped the war games from happening until the Twin Towers had already been hit and the Pentagon had already been hit. Then they finally canceled the war games, stopped the test. But they claimed in court, testified in front of the 9/11 Commission, that actually helped their response, these war games, because it let people be in their positions, like had them ready for battle sooner, even though they never stopped the war games until after the Twin Towers and Pentagon had already been hit. It's just a clear lie.
It helped their response after the attack had already been done. Thank Christ that they were there right afterwards.
And George Bush's brother was head of the security at the Twin Towers during 9/11. He was head of their security team there. So that's just a clear connection. The same fucking family that was at the JFK assassination while George Bush was head of the CIA. Different George Bush, but the fucking older one was head of the CIA before he became president. And it's just clear the Bush family is written all over this. They got their paws greasy on this one, and they need to be held responsible.
It's no good. it's fucking. I mean, I've done to death 9/11. If you got stuff on 9/11 that you want to bring up, I've done it to death. It's game over for me.
There's nothing else I wanted to say. The last thing I wanted to say about Osama Bin Laden was that his family, I believe it was his, I don't know if it was his kid, it doesn't matter, but just his family member, whenever asked in an interview, said that Osama didn't carry possessions, did not care about possessions at all. He had 3 summer shirts, 3 winter shirts, not actual shirts, like whatever the fuck they wear, some type of outfit, like that's connected, I don't know what the fuck, but he had 3 summer outfits, 3 winter outfits, and a big black coat, and they said that was his only clothing, and he just wore the same shit over and over again.
Chad, I mean, living off the land, doing your thing, living up in your caves, seeing Poker Face, it's pretty sweet, dude. I mean, say what you want about the man. He had a great taste in American entertainment.
Yeah, now that we talk trash, we got to say 3 nice things about the CIA to make them feel better. Sam, what do you got?
I personally hope they continue torturing people inside the salt mines over there, and I think torture is a good method of extracting information from our enemies, and I hope they continue.
I like that they protect poppy fields very well. They are able to create organizations. They're very organized whenever they protect these poppy fields. It seems like they really want to make sure nobody messes with them. I don't know why.
And third thing, let me see here. I like that they keep us safe by dealing drugs and weapons to foreign groups in countries so they can overpower their governments and start civil wars. I think that should continue. I think that's securing American prosperity.
Before we get into the Kirk assassination, I'll just read what I got written down here and try her out. I walked into a bar with a Jew, a thief, and a pedophile. And as soon as I walk in, the bartender's like, "Dylan, who's your friend?"
Very nice.
So I was reading Mein Kampf the other day, and I finished it in one sitting. Not really, but it'd be funny if I did. That's a good way to get out of a conversation at work, though, is just be like, yeah, once I started, I just couldn't put it down. It was a real page-turner.
I always like whenever you bring these to the table. I like your little... You should become a stand-up comic. You should bring these up to a stage.
I felt like I was levitating while I was reading it.
That one probably gets... I'm going to give that a B-. I've heard better out of you. I liked... The last set that you brought was some of your strongest.
I try. It's weird how that just comes out of nowhere, too, because I'll just be fucking thinking, and it, like, have you ever heard of the fucking... God, I can't think of what it's called. The Muse or some shit?
Yeah, dude, you pray to the Muse every time you start?
It's like where you're, like, pulling ideas out of, like, a fucking certain area. What is it? Where did I even hear this from?
Old fucking Greek poets, Greek or Roman people used to, like, at the very start, you would pray to a muse before you, like, started writing or fucking doing whatever artistic shit that you were doing. So you would, I mean, you'd get ideas from the ether, like what you're saying.
Yeah, that's kind of like manifesting ideas, like good ideas to come out of you. Just you pray and look at the muse as a real thing, like where these ideas come from, and you pray and like hope that you can get good things out of this, and the good things do come just out of nowhere, like spontaneously.
It's the technique of positive visualization.
And now I guess we'll talk about what you've all been waiting for, I'm sure, or unless you've just heard it talked about time and time again, and now you're just burnt out of it like I am. I don't even fucking... I'm so burnt out of the Kirk assassination. It's just been talked to death.
Yeah, no, it's a sad day in American politics. I'm too mushed out right now to speak major on the Kirkster, but it's no good. It all smells to high heaven, and no matter what happens, I think this was an attack on just the American people in general. A ploy to divide us.
You might look at Jimmy Kimmel getting fired for that. I know he probably didn't get fired for just that alone, but you might look at that as a positive, but I don't really see it as a positive. I think it's funny because I don't like Jimmy Kimmel, but I'm seeing people get fired over their Charlie Kirk comments, and I thought we had freedom of speech in America, and even whenever it's on the other side, not even saying that I'm like on the right or anything, but I hate Democrats, like even more than conservatives, kind of. I shouldn't say that. They're all getting sucked into a machine they can't comprehend.
I'm not going to say that Jimmy Kimmel's show getting shut off because of what he said about Charlie Kirk is a good thing, but I don't know if it's really so much about the Charlie Kirk shit as just like he was getting backlash for what he was saying about the Kirkster. Then, I mean, it's already been failing. The show has been failing for probably years at this point. Yeah. Let's be honest. It's always been a fucking dog shit television show, and I think it was finally excuse enough for them to pull the plug. Jimmy bit the hand that fed him, and it was game over.
My point with that, I was just trying to say that all the conservatives that think it's so funny whenever these people with these crazy takes are getting fired, like saying that other conservatives should die or whatever, I guess that is kind of a call for violence whenever they do get fired, but even mild comments is getting people fired from their job over this shit, because this, just in the collective zeitgeist of everybody, has just been this giant PTSD event, and now everyone feels so emotional about it that they're firing people over bullshit that should just be protected freedom of speech. Like, I know you're just looking out for your brand, but some of these aren't even brands. These are like government workers getting fired over it, and it has brought out some just insane takes out of people, though. Like, just some of the wildest shit you could even imagine. Like,
I mean, it's just people blatantly dancing on somebody's grave is what gets me, and I mean, everybody's getting their piece, too. I mean, we're getting our piece of it right here, right now. Everybody. I mean, it really is just a macrocosm of modern America. Just somebody gets shot over their political views, and my God, this is a great time to make some money and get some publicity over this.
And they're making it a left versus right issue, not just the media, but everyone who's fallen into that hook, line, and sinker. Everyone's turning against each other whenever we should be turning against the elites that have $300 billion fucking dollars. Like the dude who fucking owns Oracle, his net worth increasing $100 billion in one day. That is not possible. It should not be possible, but yet it happens, and it's just going to continue to get worse. They're going to continue to hoard more wealth, build more giant data centers that ruin our environment that we live in, and just cause pollution in our cities to service the elite. We're going full Elysium mode, and people look at that as fiction, but it's becoming more and more true every day.
Yeah, we've already talked about it. Your power bills, it's not going up because of any bullshit that's happening that's bad. It's because they want to make these crazy AI systems. None of it is going to be good for us folks. It's not going to be good for the common man. This is only good for the people running around with the millions of dollars. And I think we should ask a few questions to our elected officials about foreign interests in this country. I don't think our State Department lead should be saying America is the best country next to Israel. I think that there's a lot of Israeli involvement in the government. Let's keep it at that. And I think the American people are tired of it, and they're starting to wake up to it.
I mean, you'd have to be blind not to have woken up to the Israel cock goblin at this point. It's so fucking blatant what they're doing, where they're just like, on that mayor race in New York, where they're just like, where would you go if you had to go out of the country? Where would be the first place you go? And everyone just says Israel over and over again whenever they're literally committing a genocide on the other side of the world. At the same time they're committing a genocide, we're all ball fondling Israel for no fucking reason. It doesn't make any... I mean, there is a reason, because a lot of our politicians are blackmailed by Mossad, and then the ones that are blackmailed by Mossad are making... Like, it's basically coming from the top down. If Donald Trump really is blackmailed by Mossad, that explains why everyone else is it's coming from the top down.
It's fucked up. I mean, and you see in the proliferation of people like Nick Fuentes. People are tired of this shit. They want people to call it out for what it is, and there's been a lot of shit done in the past 20 to 30 years that's only been for a foreign country, and it's never for America. It's never helped us. It's only ever fucked us. We didn't have enemies in the Middle East until we helped a certain foreign country.
What's happening today is why Osama Bin Laden was mad at America, because our presence in the Middle East is shown so much. It's shown over and over again whenever we have regime change after regime change, whenever we continuously fuck up their bullshit going on over there, whenever we have no reason to. The only reason we're there is because of oil, pretty much, and Mossad having blackmail on our politicians. There's no other reason besides that. We should not associate with them at all. We can fucking do shit on our own. We don't need them. They're the size of New Jersey, for Christ's sake. It's fucking crazy how much power they have over us.
And they're always on this shit like, oh, we can take care of ourselves. And then you have Ben Shapiro saying, this is why America is obligated to send the funding and the support over there. Obligated, folks. We are obligated to do it.
Well, you see, it's actually not a genocide, because clearly the definition of a genocide is...
I mean, they've wanted these people gone. They've said all the bullshit. They've said, oh, we didn't mean to kill the innocent people. We're actually targeting Hamas. They bombed the fucking... They bombed the negotiators in a foreign country. The UN says that they're committing a genocide. Nobody gives a fuck. I mean, this is the only country that can get away with a blatant genocide, getting rid of a ton of people in a strip of land, pushing them out, and nobody does anything about it. Nobody could give a rat's ass.
It's basically just the Israeli government and the IDF that are losing their minds like this. Half of the Israeli population don't support what they're doing. They don't want this to happen. It's fucked up. Like, and they're like, I'm sure a lot of those people are actually Jews and fucking look at these Palestinians as goyim, and yet they still fucking are just like, okay, we're getting a little fucking out of hand here. This is getting kind of crazy, guys. We should back off. But it's just the amount of power in the Israeli government has completely corrupted their minds, and they're losing their shit. They are going absolutely ballistic on women, children. It doesn't matter. The most innocent Down syndrome couldn't hurt anybody, fucking like 9-year-old kid. They would fucking shoot her right in the face because they don't look at them as humans.
Whatever they can do to get rid of them faster so they can settle. I mean, there's going to be a massive construction project. I would love to be a contractor over there. My God, they must be itching. Next 10 years are going to be a gold mine over there. My God.
I'm sure that it's going to turn into a tourist attraction in 10 years. It's going to turn into Gaza land, and it's going to be this fucking, basically like a 15-minute city where they've rebuilt it completely with brand new skyscrapers, brand new buildings, and it's going to be like a 15-minute city where you can walk anywhere you need to go. You don't need cars. Kind of like how Saudi Arabia was trying to do with that wall.
And anybody that's saying, well, why do you care? Why do you care about a foreign country? Why do you give a fuck about Israel? The only reason they have anything is because of the American taxpayer. At the end of the day, half the shit that Israel has is because of us.
All of their health care is bought and paid for by the American taxpayer, and fucking, if we did not support this war, they would have gone bankrupt in a week. They would have ran out of money completely in a month, tops. They did not have the money. They burned through over $200 billion a day in ammunition and shit and fucking firepower, ballistics, whatever the fuck. They are burning through our taxpayer money, and it's getting funneled to them by our president, who's doing nothing about it. Why would he be doing nothing about it? The only thing that makes sense to me is that he's blackmailed by Mossad. I can't come to any conclusion, because he was fucked up in his first term, but he did not that bad compared to some other politicians. He was kind of like not as big of a warmonger as we've had in the past. We went through fucking how long of a Bush, a Biden, or a Clinton being in the fucking office for that long. And then Biden was vice president during Obama's administration, and then president for another 4 years during 2020. Like, you look at him as better than all these other options, but just because he's better than all these other options, he's still fucking us more than 99% of the population would in his position.
This is why the American people are angry, is because they've seen the last 5 presidents have obviously been owned by Israel. They've obviously been owned by Netanyahu. Netanyahu's literally just a dictator in his own country. I'll say it. October 7th was like their fucking 9/11. You're telling me the most defended border in the world, they have so many microphones in those walls, they have so much shit to guard against digging, to guard against bombs, to guard against everything, and just everything happens perfectly. It's bullshit.
Charlie Kirk woke up to that like a couple weeks before his death. He talked about how October 7th was a false flag, basically comparing it to like Pearl Harbor or 9/11. It's the same situation as both of those events. They let them in, created this false flag event to be able to enact their vengeance upon Palestine, and then take it over and turn it into the Greater Israel Project.
And just the fact that we reach a ceasefire with Iraq, and not 6 hours later, because of Israel, they break it. We can't support these people anymore. This is why the American people are upset, is because you're obviously supporting somebody that's in the wrong.
That Iran situation, they also just made it so obvious that they're not trying to negotiate at all. Israel is not trying to have a ceasefire. Any chance they can fuck up the negotiations with Iran, they have. They're not negotiating in good faith because it's the far right version of their government has completely taken over, and they've gone corrupt with power and are just they want to expand. They have all these tapes on people in the United States. They are enabled to use the giant military-industrial complex in any way they want. They're able to enact their will upon Palestine just because they're close, but it's just going to expand to all the other countries surrounding them. I would definitely be moving if I was on a border nation with Israel. I would be getting the fuck out of there.
They won't stop. They won't stop at Gaza, I'll tell you that.
It's the Holy Land. That's why they're protecting it. They just want to make sure that they keep it safe, because all these fucking crazy Muslims are just going to desecrate it.
You got to keep the crazy Muslims and the Christians out of there. I mean, for Christ's sake, they wouldn't treat it right.
Well, I don't know. What else do you got? I think we're about done on that. I think Kirk's been talked to death. We've danced on his grave enough. I actually do want to say R.I.P.
Yeah, no, you guys know it's bullshit. It all smells like horse shit. Who knows what they're gonna say happened? Who knows what the reason behind this guy? Sure, rip to the Kirkster.
Also, rip to Daniel Hopsicker, who made that documentary talking about Venice, Florida, and the hijackers that went to flight school there. He actually went to Venice, Florida, and interviewed a bunch of people that Muhammad Atta talked to weeks before his death, whenever he supposedly died in 9/11. He talked to waitresses who served him and his associates. He talked to like a stripper that fucking like danced for him. Talked to just people in town that had seen them as well and recognized them, and they talked about all the debauchery that he was doing. And then they heard him talking about the big man. Like, they thought like the waitress who served him thought he was mafia or something because he dressed like not like a fucking Muslim at all. He dressed with a cross around his neck, she said. Isn't that funny? But a giant gold cross around his neck, like looked like some type of pimp or something, like fucking silk shirts, dressed to the T, and always talked about the big man on the phone. He kept referring to someone as the big man, and then and then he talked. Oh yeah, and then he also talked to the flight instructors there and tried to talk to the other. In this flight school, there's 2 flight schools at this airport. Both of them are owned by Dutch people. That's a fucking weird coincidence right there. What are the odds of that? One's Rudy Decker's, that fucking clearly CIA asset, and then the other guy he tried to interview at all, and as soon as he asked him for an interview, he said, no, get the fuck out of my office, and that was that. But it's so weird how we see what happened with 9/11. It's so clear that Israel was involved. It's so clear what Israel is doing in the United States today, and still, I can't even, 25% of the population still thinks they're our greatest ally, don't know anything in the age of information about what's going on.
You see the whole entire Jeffrey Epstein situation, and obviously a Mossad agent, an Israeli honeypot, and it all gets swept under the rug. The most obvious cover-up it's going to be the most obvious cover-up of our lifetime, I think. It's absolutely ridiculous.
They've made it to the point where not enough people can actually care about it to make any change because we're so fucking just barely surviving. We're barely getting paid enough to survive, just getting scraps together to make rent, to afford our groceries, that no one can focus on actually creating protest and creating like a way to fucking fight back against this giant machine that doesn't care about us and is just lying right in our faces. We are so just deprived of our rights and deprived of our human needs that we can't even organize and assemble.
Get up on a soapbox, brother.
Yeah, I guess we'll just leave it at we need to assemble. And all you listeners on this podcast, we need to assemble and create some sort of group.
We're going to make a mushroom hive mind, and then we're going to battle the psychic vampires through the dream space.
I'm going more, we're creating a political party. I think we're going to go a political party route, and we're going to become, instead of Democrat or Republican, we're going to become a postie is going to be the third option, and we're going to create...
That's not going to be the name.
we're spitballing here on the names. We haven't come to a conclusion on that, but we're going to create some type of political party that takes over, and Sam's going to be our president. We're going to officially give him his face reveal live the first day he becomes president.
Dude, for the last time, I'm biding my time. I'm working my way up through the political offices. You guys won't know who I am until I strike, and then the globalists will know who the real person in charge is.
You guys better watch out. He's coming for you.
Well, meanwhile, Dylan will be attacking you with his face out. He wants the Mossad agents to come and fight him. He wants them to hunt him down. He's ready to fight you.
I'm basically like the FBI division of our department, of our political party. I'm just going to fucking cause chaos wherever I go, pretty much.
He's a female body inspector.